Hello everybody and welcome to the Projecttop training webinar. Our subject for today is monitoring the effects of steering group decisions. Thank you for being here on time. My name is Joona Siivonen and I'm your proud host today. And with me I have Jyrki Autio, who is a bit of a guru here in Finland. I know he hates that word, guru, but welcome, Jyrki.
Thank you. Thank you.
So you're the guy who is hired to save projects that run into trouble, running out of runway, they're behind schedule, they are over budget, and you're the guy that everybody here calls.
Okay. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Well, that is a hell of a job. And I can now pick Jyrki's brain. Actually, Jyrki is now running a project, and you have some. We're not gonna mention which project or with whom, but we have some actual live data from the project that we'll be using today. And Jyrki has some lovely slides from his reporting for us, and he's gonna make me guess what there is on the slides.
Yeah, and it's CRM project.
Okay.
Yeah, quite big.
Okay, big CRM project, guys. We're going to see some live reporting and data from that one.
Yes.
Thank you, Jyrki. And for this webinar and us, we're concentrating on business critical projects where IT is heavily involved, and the projects cannot afford delays or poor quality. I think the CRM project is a perfect example. It could be an ERP project, but usually this relates to projects where you're implementing a new software, where testing, change management, defect management is an important part of the project, right?
Yes.
So this is the kind of the scope where this is heading. Internal development projects that are often associated with an external vendor. And why we are here talking about this is that both me and Jyrki actually have over 15 years of experience on demanding projects all across Europe, Russia, even North America, all the way to India even.
Yes.
Yes, with Projecttop, we have been doing a software, developing a software to help manage this kind of projects for over 10 years now. This is in no way Projecttop webinar, but I'm just going to mention that the screenshots that you're going to see today are from the Projecttop software. Isn't that right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Just one thing regarding questions before we jump right into it. You can submit questions at any time during the webinar, and we promise to answer every question at the end. To submit questions, you have the webinar overlay, and there is a little orange button that you can press to bring it up. And from there, you can find the questions and submit any questions you have. And don't worry, only we can see them. So keep the questions coming at any time. Okay, so today's agenda is monitoring the effects of steering group decisions. And we're going to start up with a little warm-up, which Jyrki has labeled project is running okay, or is it?
Yeah.
Let's just jump right into it. So what do we have? We have here the report with a lot of green. Everything seems to be okay.
Yeah, that's normal when you are in building or system testing phase, and you don't have any gate what you go through. Then you can report that everything is okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you don't have anything to kind of meter the progress against, it looks like everything is okay.
Yeah.
Well, of course.
If you don't know where you are, you can say that I'm in right place.
That's a very good point. Okay, so what do we have here? We have vendor status report and customers test managers status report. And these look a lot different. There's a lot more red on the customers test managers report. Are these actually from the same project?
Yeah, same project, same date.
Same project, same date. And here's what the vendor is reporting and what the test manager is reporting.
Yeah, yeah. And the next slide tells that why this is this way.
Yeah. Okay, so here we have easy part, basic functions. Once these functions are ready, you can test individual functions, but not complete processes. Okay.
Yeah. So just like in normal, when you create new solution, it's so that and first you are doing the basic things, the easy part. What are the basic functions? You configure those and test the individual functions and that kind of thing. And there's in many cases it shows that the most of the functions are ready and they are quite easy. And then there's this troublesome part, modification, and those are the feathers that business needs to grow and what they are waiting for.
Yeah. So that's kind of the old 80-20 law, that 20% of the processes present 80% of the trouble, or in this case, the benefits.
Yeah, yeah. And it's always from 80 to 100. It's the hardest thing.
Yeah. So you do the easy part first and you get results, but then comes the harder part.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's definitely that. And this is an interesting picture. So acceptance testing and a crash.
Yeah, that's the normal what happens, that the solution should be ready and system tested, and you should start acceptance test or go live, and then you are notice that okay, this is not so ready that it should be.
Yeah, and I like this picture. It tells more than 1,000 words, as they say. So it's you can just sweep problems under the rug or pretend that everything's okay, but when acceptance testing starts, that's when the crash happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that was warm up. Let's go.
So that was the warm up.
Yeah.
Now to the real beef. And this is actual real data from a real live project that is happening right now. It's a project, a CRM project that Jyrki was called to help.
Yes.
Isn't that right? Yes. So at this point, the project is lagging behind schedule. And here's the first report. Okay, so I'm looking at a graph with progress percentage with estimate. And so here, the project is running okay up until this part, up until the start of February.
Yes.
And I'm guessing that this thing really plateaus here, so that progress basically just stops here.
Yeah.
And is this when they realized that they were running into trouble? Is this when they called you?
Yes, it is. And this graph is made after when they called me, we created this graph that we see that how it happens. And because
Okay, so you start by creating this graph to see what has happened before.
Yeah, they're analyzing the situation.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. And after that, sorry, I'm just taking this drawing tool. So you had a steering group meeting then.
Yeah. And we make the analysis that okay, we must delay deployment about 3 months.
So that's you basically there. It's a nice picture. Looks exactly like you.
Yeah, what I want to be.
Okay, so you decide that the deployment should be delayed by 3 months, and you base this on what?
Yeah, and of course it's the relevant question that is 3 months enough or not. What should we have, and then.
So you made the action plan.
Yeah.
You actually planned the steps on what to do and what needs to be done and here's the important part and what this webinar is really all about, that how the steering group can follow the progress in real time. This is what it really interests me also.
Yeah.
So let's see how you made it happen.
Yeah, let's see. Oh. Yeah, take the next slide, and this is and what happens that we made the action plan and we made the estimates, and of course now it's not growing as fast as earlier, but the reason is that the difficult part is left.
Yeah.
The modifications, and we must do a lot of problem solving and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And we are follow up status every day, and projects start to go as we planned it.
Yes. So this is where you were basically called when they saw that nothing is happening, that this graph is just plateauing, and then you made the new plan.
Yeah, that was the point where I was asked.
Yes.
In the 1st of March.
Oh yes.
Yeah, and then we start to do the action plan. And
yeah. So this is the new graph, the progress graph that you made. It's a little bit, it isn't so steep as here, but as you can see, it is now pretty much going as replanned.
Yeah.
So up until that point, everything was okay.
Yeah, and that's why we calculate that we need 3 months more.
Okay. And I'm interested to learn how you came to that conclusion, actually. Let's see. So, okay, how to enable real-time reporting. So what we actually talked about a little is define what is 100%. I think that's a very interesting point here. Define what is 100%.
Yeah, and it's so that we have a goal line, we have a goal, and we must define that what is inside the goal, and what are the documents must be accepted, and what are the test cases must be tested, and then we must also drop off those things what are not included.
Yeah.
If we are doing development work after go live, we must some continuous development work. We drop those off.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's how you get that 100 for that step.
Yeah.
So the whole project is 100, but to get to this point, we need these things. And I think that's really interesting. And in my own experience, it's something that you need to do when you're starting the project, or that part of the project at least.
Yeah.
Because if you don't do it then, if you try to define what is 100% when you're already in trouble, I think it's really hard to do.
Yeah. And it's little different kind of calculation. So when you are going to project where is trouble, you must calculate and make decision that what we involve to this project.
Yes.
And what we drop off.
Yeah. So you basically define what you'll include and then see what is 100% of that.
Yes.
Okay, then you create next step to create building, testing, and problem-solving plan. So you create the action points, and then you estimate what will be ready and when.
Yeah, and that's if it's so that if you create a good testing plan, and when you are testing and you make the goals that in this day we get these testing results ready, and you make communicate with the vendor that okay, this part will be built in this date, and then you can quite easily draw an estimate line.
Yeah.
Okay, and we have this is ready and this is left, so it's 70% or 80%.
Well, I think maybe some people would disagree that making the actual estimate line is easy. You make it sound easy, but I'm guessing that we're going to have some pointers how to do it later on. Yeah. So stick around, guys. And make sure people are committed to the plan. Of course, if people aren't committed to the plan, then it basically means nothing.
Yeah, few years ago I have the same kind of situation, and then I had a great gang working in the project, and we make the estimate line, and then we put some cakes and party things to the plan, and after 2 weeks, after first 2 weeks, if we are in plan, then we have a cake and coffee. And then after 2 weeks, if we are still on plan, then we have a party and sauna and that kind of thing. And it was so nice to work. And and there was before one decision meeting, the guy says, "Don't take report. No, I have one test cases. I test, and then we are in goal." It was so nice.
That sounds like a good way to motivate people.
Yeah.
It would work for me. Keep in mind.
Yeah.
Okay, and with these in place, you can follow the progress in real time. And let's see what happens next in this project.
Yeah.
So here is another graph. Now it's more time has passed, and the project isn't really progressing, but time is. So what happened here? We can see that progress has stalled again. That you should be here,
No.
but you're actually here. So you're lagging behind.
Yeah, and the biggest point why I want to show this graph is that you can see very fast that okay, we are not on the track anymore.
Yeah.
And that's the point. You can react and do actions and kick people, and okay, this is, and just have a meeting and replanning and solve the issues. And if we are taking the next slide, we know that what is the problem.
Yeah. So this way you can see when you start lagging behind instantly, and you can actually react.
Yeah.
And okay, well, why were you lagging behind? I'm guessing that you're going to tell us that next, but maybe I'll just guess a little bit.
Yeah, just to check. Oh no, okay. Yeah,
Okay.
please.
So the project is behind schedule, and what we have here is open issues and defects, the daily count.
Yeah.
Okay. So what we have here is I'm guessing that the red one is the open issues, how many open issues at what given point in time we have. So we have something like 25 to 30 open issues here.
Yeah, yes. Yeah.
Isn't that right?
Yes.
And this is what you estimated. Yes, and this is kind of what you thought it would be. And then you thought that you start fixing those issues at the end of March.
Yeah.
And then the graph should go down. Am I right?
Yes.
It should go down here, and it does. It actually, this follows really closely what you have estimated. So these are the new issues, and this is the count of the ready issues. So you have opened 4 issues and closed 3 issues here.
Yeah.
Okay. And in here we can see that you are actually, this is the ready color. You're closing more issues than opening, so the graph goes down. And again, it then plateaus.
Yeah.
And even there are some more issues than are being closed. Why is this?
Yeah, it's we get some hard issues, and the vendors was not able to fix those, and there's some resource problems, and that's why it's so that if you have issues and you are not able to solve those, it quite soon happens so that testing is not progressing, and then the project is not progressing, and we are slowing down.
Yes.
So that's why you must make sure that your problem solving ability is in good shape.
Yeah, it's a really good point. If the problem solving ability is too low, you're just discovering issues, but you're not fixing them, then they're just going to pile up and gum up the works. I mean, you can't retest, you can't implement anything if you're just getting more issues.
Yeah, and as you can see, there's happens. The project is running okay, and it's quite small difference between good problem solving ability and low.
Mm.
And you just the fixing time will go little longer, and then the project is going to slower.
Yeah, slower and slower. It's kind of exponential.
Yeah, yeah.
So, what do we do in a project when we have a lot of open issues?
Yeah, yeah.
So, at this point, you have another graph here. This shows how many open issues you had. I'm guessing here that you can see. I'm going to just highlight it. This is open issues count by priority.
Yeah.
If I'm reading this right, you have one critical issue and you have about 13 high
Yes.
priority issues open, and a lot of like normal priority issues with about 30 normal and a couple of low priority issues also.
Yes.
So what did you guys do at this point?
Yeah. But if you take the next slide, is that
Yeah.
quite many steering groups make the wrong decision. That okay, you have the 13 or 14 issues. Let's fix these and then we go live.
Oh, makes sense. Let's just fix the critical ones, guys, and implement.
Yeah.
So what's wrong with that?
Yeah. If you take the next slide, we can I can show you, but it's not what you can see. It's what is the really amount of the errors what there are in the system.
Yeah. So it isn't what you know right now. Right now we know that we have 14 issues, critical or high. What we don't know is the stuff that's going to bite us in the ass.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so let me see. So it is not enough to fix the issues we know right now.
Yeah.
We have to anticipate what is also coming next.
Yes.
The actual need to fix is bigger than we know because, well, of course, some fixes will be rejected and sent back to the vendor. Some fixes will reveal new issues. And then you get to test stuff that you haven't been able to test before. And again, this reveals more issues.
Yeah.
And of course, this is gonna slow down when you get these non-critical issues, normal issues. You also need to handle them, and not only the critical issues.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is the interesting part: how you can try and you get the crystal ball that you need to see into the future.
Yeah.
That how many issues are those 14 issues that we know right now gonna turn into when the project progresses?
Yeah, yeah. There's a example in this project when we have the big data, project big data. It's quite easy to calculate that what will be happening.
Yeah.
And when I started to work, it was about 70% of fixes will generate new error.
Okay, it sounds really high. I mean,
yeah, it was 72%.
Okay, so if you have an issue, you send it back to be fixed. It's a 72% chance that there's going to be another problem.
Yeah, yeah, and that was the biggest issue what we must solve.
Yeah.
And now it's about 36% is now, and that's quite 1.4 is quite normal.
Yeah.
Normal amount.
So that's the rule of thumb.
Yeah, that if you have 14, then if you multiply it by 1.4,
yes,
then you get. And of course, you must calculate and estimate that what are the untested functions.
Yeah. So guys, a rule of thumb to estimate the number of issues you're going to have. Calculate the number of open issues, multiply it by 1.4, and then add an estimate of the number of issues from the yet untested functions.
Yeah, and that means that if you have the normal quality, it's that it's you are reporting issues in good quality, and the vendor is working. They have a good methods how to work.
Yeah.
It's if you try to do with Excels and emails, and then you don't have any figures what to calculate, but then of course the quality is quite low. So
It doesn't matter. The quality is going to be so poor anyway.
yeah, don't calculate.
Doesn't matter. Okay, so in this case, you estimated that there was 14 known issues. There was that one critical one and like 13 high priority. And the steering group made a decision to fix these issues. So from these 14 issues that we know right now, you can calculate that there's going to be 6 new ones by multiplying it by 1.4. And then you knew that there's a lot of untested functions that you haven't been able to test yet because of these issues. And you estimated that you will actually get 36 issues instead of 14. This is really interesting.
Yeah, and it's if you are changing into hours, if you in the customer side, the 14, you have 14 issues. If they are fixed, then you retest. It's about 20 hours to retest those. But if you think that you will find 22 new issues, then it's about 75 hours, 75 to 100 hours. So are you estimating 20 hours or 100 hours? It's quite big.
Yeah, that's like 5 times the actual workload. So, and 5 times the time.
Yeah. That's why
Yeah, this is an interesting. Let's see what we have next. Okay, the idea that you can follow up on the problem solving ability, that you should keep in mind how fast the problems are being solved to keep the project running.
Yeah, and as you can see here, there's this red line is calculating only critical and high category.
Yeah.
Because in this situation, we have made decision that we must fix those before we can start user acceptance test.
Yeah.
So we make decision that what we follow up, and we don't make this kind of Excel sheet where is listed some. This is not what we do. We are checking that what is the workload what we have, and now we can see we have 14, and we must keep that our problem solving ability is enough, so that this red line is start to go down.
Yeah. Yeah, that definitely makes sense, and I'm seeing this time and again being done with Excel sheets, and I guess that the problem with that is if you have the static list, there's going to be 14 issues that you're going to resolve.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit static versus to the cumulative reporting, which actually shows how the project is progressing, and I guess the point would be that without that big data, it's almost impossible to manage the project efficiently and see in real time how it is progressing, and for the steering group to make decisions based on accurate data.
Yeah. And those estimate lines, if you make the good plan, then you can very easily think that okay, it's our progress must go up in this way, or that we must be in situation where we don't have any critical or serious error and that kind of thing. It's quite easy to.
You can react really quickly and see how it is progressing.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And as we are the project managers, we are in schedule. It's half an hour, and now it's time for questions.
Yeah, it is actually. We are just, seconds away from half an hour here, so I guess it's a bit of a success here. So, okay, guys, that was the end of the training for today, and we're gonna check out some questions. Now we have some questions here. Actually, we're gonna answer them shortly. and everyone has a couple of minutes to submit any questions they may have. And I'm just going to take this time to tell you a little bit about the Projecttop Process. If you want to read more about the Projecttop Process, it is a guide on how to manage your IT projects from planning to deployment, with every single part of the project being taken into account. And you can find it in our web pages. Just go to the Projecttop VIP area. It's open, it's free. Go check it out if you want to have a good guide for your own projects.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see questions. I'm gonna need a second. I'm just gonna open the webinar overlay here.
And we are interested in your perspective. So if you have any comments, or if you have any questions, or if you disagree something, please leave us a message and we answer you.
Yeah, definitely. We have a question here on the how to enable real-time reporting slide. What do you find are the best ways to ensure people are committed to the plan? What do you think works best? Jyrki had the example about having the cake party and then the sauna party and, and stuff like that. But any other ways to motivate people to work in the projects?
Yeah, I think that it's starting that your plan must be realistic.
Yes.
And I create the plan with communicating to people. So I'm asking vendor that what is the realistic building time, and then I'm make the first testing resource plan, and I'm reserving the testing dates so that I'm sure that my people have time to test.
Yeah.
And then I'm reserving the issue solving meetings, and after that I know that I have the testers, and I have talked with them that they know what to do and when, and then the vendor knows, and then I'm calculating the estimate line, and I'm telling that this is what is the basics of that estimate line.
Yeah.
Then when the people accept that, okay, this is a good plan and this is how we can do it, and they have time and resources, then it's just enjoying the time.
Okay, so you're basically saying that you want to give the people a realistic chance to actually perform in the project. Yeah. And give them a realistic timeline when they should finish with their tasks.
Yeah, and it comes so that I always want to ask that what they are doing in normal life.
Yeah.
And then I normally ask with the boss that, okay, I need this guy, and can you reorganize the work so that we really get him?
Yeah.
And if there are some holidays or birthdays, we are taking care.
So it's resourcing is really important, and letting getting your project members to have the time to do that stuff.
Yeah, and one big thing when you start to do is that the people want to do good quality.
Yeah.
And then you must give them a good work list, the work list that what they do, and good deadlines, and you must communicate so clearly that everybody knows that what we are doing. Don't send emails. Don't code that email management. It's so the people are frustrating.
Yeah, it's a good way to demotivate your people is to frustrate them. With 1,000 emails. Yeah, I totally agree. We have another question on. Thank you for the webinar. Well, thank you. The screenshots, the reports where they create. Yes, they were created using Projecttop software. They are actually from our software. It wasn't the point for today, but the screenshots were from Projecttop software. Guys, any more questions? Let me see. I think that's all the questions we have for today. Thanks everybody for attending, and thank you, Jyrki.
Thank you.
Thank you a lot. Any last words of wisdom to people?
My last words are that when you are doing projects, don't do actions that are easiest to do now, that make the actions that make the whole project running easier. So don't take so that okay, I send email or I create Excel. Plan that how you can report and how you can manage the project.
I think those are wise words indeed.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks everybody, and hopefully we'll see you at the next webinar.
Yeah. And please read our web area and give us comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.